Hey, what's up, Trey? It's good to see you.
Yeah, great to have you back with us. It's been a minute.
It's been way too long.
Yeah, I know. But you have been doing some great things. And for some of our audience members who may not be aware, just tell them a bit about what you do when it comes to you as a Qigong instructor out here helping the people.
I laugh every time I get asked that question. Well, I'm teaching Qigong. I'm teaching ancient Chinese meditation and movement practice to help heal your psyche, which is your mind, to heal your patterns of behaviors, to change those patterns of behaviors that are negative to us and institute some positive change in our lives, to heal the internal organ system, to uplift your spirit, your health and wellness. And we're sharing that around town, all the way up and down the I-5 corridor. I'm in middle schools, I'm in high schools, I'm teaching elementary school kids right now. So it's been really fun, a really eventful last couple of years and months.
Yeah, well, I miss our Thursday segments with you, man, because you were bringing so much brilliance here. But it's great to know that you are still being plugged into community and connecting with so many different folks out there and different families. What are some of the highlights of what you've been able to experience as a Qigong instructor with some of the folks who have been able to take your classes thus far?
Oh, wow. Just this past weekend had an amazing session. We were out in the park on the hilltop of Tacoma out there teaching, and one of my students reached out and said I was experiencing an ocular migraine, but after the practice, the migraine was gone. I've had other students that they were having knee problems and back problems that are now able to stand and practice the entire 45 minutes to an hour session without any problems. I've had people that have had addiction issues, that have transcended their addiction issues, from the practice. They were like, oh, I didn't go into AA, I was going to Qigong instead. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. And so they were able to, get over some addictions and really enhance their family life as well. So it's been great.
Well, the power of Qigong is wide and vast. So to hear this, amazing response that students are getting from taking the course is phenomenal. But, this for me is something that I get to experience personally because I'm one of your students and have taken so many of the classes. And honestly, every time there's something so centering about it. I know before you've talked about the importance of breathing. And I know Qigong also has some really strong elements in terms of controlling the breath and breathing. Tell us more about that connection.
Really just enhancing that natural state of being. Where the breath goes, the body goes. When we start breathing through our mouth, when we're upset, when we're angry, or when we're experiencing grief, the body goes there too. It's like it becomes upset, it becomes agitated, it changes its chemistry. And so by closing the mouth and beginning to breathe through our nose, we subdue the animal part of our spirit or part of our being and allow our brain to really get the oxygen that it needs so it can function, so it can think, so it can analyze. We can then begin to look at situations, look at beliefs, look at opinions, look at conflicts that we might be experiencing and find the right way to respond to those situations in the moment. It gives us a timeout, if you will, and allows us to really recalibrate our being. It activates the parasympathetic system so we can now really digest food. We can detoxify the blood. We can actually see clearer, and it allows us to get access to our entire intellect, which is super important when we're trying to deal with a complex problem or a complex solution needs to be had. We have to be able to breathe, have to be able to analyze in order to do that. And so the breath starts there, and with Qigong we really focus on breathing correctly, we focus on standing correctly, we focus on that peaceful and natural state of being and really connecting to all things in the universe.
Yeah, I mean, this is so powerful and so key. Recently I had the pleasure and the honor of interviewing Heru TchaasAmen the first, and I know that, he talks about the importance of Qigong and of breathing, and he was sharing, how this new meditation course they have is really geared toward allowing everyone to really receive the benefits of, these different transitions that you can go through in your brain to create new responses. And you were just talking about how, Qigong is one of those elements that allows us to break old patterns. We see that a lot of things are because we've always done it that way, right? And we don't question it enough. We don't challenge that enough in our own ways. What are some of the ways that Qigong really helps to aid that process?
Well, similar to the Ma'at 11 Laws course, which, thankfully my teacher and instructor, Heru TchaasAmen, the first brought forward, we're doing similar things. In the moment of Qigong, when we're taking that time to breathe, we're taking that time to move, we're also visualizing, right? We're visualizing situations where we have conflict, where we have struggles, where we have challenges, if you will, and seeing ourselves in those moments being peaceful, seeing ourselves smiling, seeing ourselves relaxing, seeing ourselves finding a solution, right? And then we're seeing ourselves receiving a blessing, right? And really, the blessing is something to help us and help others. So it's super important to be able to see ourselves plugged in community there. And so we're changing those patterns by doing that. We're establishing trust, right? We're establishing gratitude. We're establishing love, really opening the heart up to receive the wisdom that we need to really traverse these really difficult or challenging and complex situations. So Qigong is that moment. For me, really, it was a way to meditate. I couldn't meditate. Shekham was teaching that stuff, and I was like, well, I can't meditate yet. I was really new to the practice and things. Well, one of the things that came out of talking to some of my guidance people and mentors was, hey, you need to practice Qigong or some type of movement. And so I started practicing Qigong. That Qigong helped me center myself and bring my energy down and get into a space where I could meditate, where I could then begin to really work on the breath and really solve those complex, old school patterns that I've had for years and years that were detrimental to my being, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's something that I've been able to experience because there's some things I didn't even realize were patterns until I was more focused on making a transition, making a change with them. But for some things, it was like, oh man, I'm so used to going there mentally, right? That, I needed the meditation, the breath, everything that I've been learning in the last few years to guide me to new reflexive responses. And so I'm grateful for that because I understand that it's all encompassing when we're talking about a lot of this. And you've talked about this before, this being like a holistic way of dealing with it. And so it's great to hear that there's all these connections and ways for people to plug in. But you've been doing this Qigong practice now. A lot of folks know you. Man, you're the one that does Qigong, right? Oh, you're the Qigong instructor. Now people are starting to see it, and it's great for me to be able to witness because you talked about this a long time ago. And the company that you are learning from also recognizes that you're bringing something unique because you were really intentional to bring Qigong into Black communities. Tell us more about that intentionality there.
For sure. Rinsu of the Americas and Rinsu International have been super supportive in creating more people of color, Black people that are instructors, right? Really invested a lot of time and energy in myself as well. So I've have been able to partner with some mentors that have given me some deep knowledge as well. And they're springboarding and supporting, like going out in the community. And I was very upfront with them, like, look, I want to learn this for myself because I got to heal myself. And the model of Rinsu is really important because we say we got to heal ourselves so we can help others. Well, the help others part for me was people that looked like me. I saw a lot of people that looked like me that were going through the same struggles I was or other struggles, and I wanted to be able to help them. And I didn't see them in the practice. I was watching, other people practice Qigong, of other different ethnic backgrounds and things like that, but I didn't see any Black people. I was like, I want Black people to receive this healing. They're like, hey, how can we help? How can we step in and support? And so now they're developing new programs. They're reaching out to their community and out of their own comfort zone, right? And we're having deep, challenging conversations around racial structure, right? Which is phenomenal to have in places of peace and healing where people are really enhancing, their ability to analyze. They're going, okay, we can analyze the situation cohesively, find solutions, and we can build curriculum to help people. So now we're going into schools and starting to teach there, right? And I was already out there. So they're like, hey, Heru, what are you doing? How's that working? How can we support you? So it's been great.
Yeah, it's so great that you're in that space and have that level of intentionality where you were really dedicated to bringing it out into community because honestly, I didn't know anything about Qigong until you started teaching it. Whether it was available, it just wasn't in my world necessarily. So it's great to be able to be connected and also know that people are receiving the benefits. Like you are getting some great stories back. And now this is a phenomenal partnership with Friends of Waterfront Seattle. I want to hear from you how important this partnership is in bringing it out more to the public spaces and being out there on the water.
It's a dream come true. I mean, literally a dream come true. I had visualized it. I was down at a concert series at the Waterfront Park and was like, this would be a great place to practice some Qigong with all people, right by the water, this healing water. A year and a half later, we're down here at the waterfront and, had the first class, having the second class tonight, and really looking forward to just to sharing this work. It's so easy to do. Anybody can do it, and it's a great start to your healing journey. I mean, why not begin to cleanse your life force? Chi is your life force, right? Chi is information. We have to have good information. We got to have quality life force. We got to have high levels of energy to face these tasks. So you can come on out. People can come out for free 99, you know what I'm saying? And get that jump start, you can't beat it, and to be in that space with Friends of Waterfront, like it's just a phenomenal space, just beautiful people that have opened the doors, and found a way to bring healing practices to people in the city of Seattle for nothing, right? They're doing just fantabulous work.
Yeah, being at Pier 62 is so serene. The water's there, especially when we get the sun out, and you're doing these classes now Mondays this month. You have also a couple Saturdays, so I'll make sure you plug those dates in for us. But tonight is your second class, and already you heard some really great response from last Monday, right? With folks coming out and being excited to come back. Tell us about some of that response that you received from the first class.
It was great. One of the students walked up and they were like, "Hey, it was kind of vibrating down here, and when my eyes were closed, is that normal?" I was like, "Well, chi reactions happen, and as we were building and working on the opening session, I could feel it too. It got really quiet. We're in the middle of Pier 62, but all of a sudden, as we began to practice, the quiet came in. And as people began to join, more and more people talked about after the class how they felt, the movements. Even people that were just watching the movements as I was leaving were reaching out like, "Hey, how do I tap in? When are you gonna be here again?" Because I was really feeling some lightness in my heart and my spirit as you were talking, as you all were working. So the chi field is real. Right? This is an ancient practice. It's been around for 5,000 years. It wouldn't be around for this long if it didn't work. Right? This is the beginning of spiritual growth, the beginning of mental evolution and things like that. So we might as well step into that. Pier 62 is where it's at. Come on out. You know what I mean? That's all I can say about it.
Yeah. Come on out. Get some of this healing. Come step into the chi field, as they say. You're starting to be known as the chi man. I love that. But I will say too that this also speaks to the intentionality of Friends of Waterfront, talking to them about how important it was for them to expand their offerings, right? I mean, they were already doing yoga and some meditation. And so I was like, wow, this is such a great fit for some of the things that they're really looking to bring to the community. And it's amazing because without these kinds of partnerships, sometimes people will never be exposed to it, right? And so I remember early on, people would ask me and I'd be like, well, how people do Tai Chi in the park? I would try to bring it back to that because they just had no frame of reference. So they're like, oh, okay, yeah. I have seen some of my Asian elders out there doing, and I'm like, yeah. And now we're able to understand the real benefits of this practice, the ancient ways that, many societies really practiced Qigong and utilized it to balance their Qi and understand their life force and energy. So thank you for doing all the classes, all the instruction. You've been doing level after level after level, just tearing up and gearing up to really bring this out into community. So thank you for that commitment. You said it, this month you're there. Tell us more about the dates. How do they register? Look right there. Let the folks know how to plug in.
A couple of ways. First, you can go to waterfrontparkseattle.org. All the postings are there. All the dates are there. You can follow us on Eventbrite. We're there on Eventbrite. Let's follow the same group there on Eventbrite, Friends of the Waterfront. You can follow me on Instagram at Heru Nefer, HeruNefer. Follow me there. My link in the bio there has all the links to all of my classes and all of my interactions as well. Come on out. Mondays, every Monday for all of June, we'll be there at 5 o'clock p.m., free 99, like I said. Any age group can practice and participate. I have 2 Saturday sessions as well on the 17th and the 24th. We'd love to have as many people as that pier can hold out there, practicing Qi, practicing these movements together, healing themselves so they can help others, help people in their community, and really spread this love.
Wow, there it is, y'all. Mondays in the month of June, 5 p.m., a couple Saturdays there, the 17th and 24th at 11 a.m. Make sure y'all tap in, follow him on Instagram, check him out, get some Qi healing in your lives. I promise you it'll benefit you. As always, Heru TchaasAmen, thank you so much for being with me today and for bringing this out into community, connecting with Friends of Waterfront, bringing it to so many more folks. Thank you and kudos to you.
It's a blessing to you as well. Bright chi.
Right, Chi. I receive it. I receive it. All right, y'all.